All right, round 3, video 3, and we got this mask going on, right? So right now, all I have is this slab of clay, which is draped over this lump of, it's soft, but this lump of plastic and newspaper. So the first thing, and you notice, it is more of an oval shape. I don't want, any weird circle heads. We're trying to go as human as possible. And one trick is a lot of people put human eyes up here. Your human eyes are going to be about in the middle because you need all that extra stuff for our faces. So notice where my thumbs are, a little bit of a gap. I'm going to press in a little bit. I'm going to start to smear out. Now, I should have said you can, depend on the angle. If you wanted, angry, you would go like that. If you wanted more happy, you would kind of go like this or something in the middle. You kind of go in the middle. And I'm making divots here. I don't know if you can see the details, but we're making eye sockets, right? Wet fingers right now. Eye sockets. Flare them out, right? And they look ridiculous. And I'll tell you right now, I make some masks that are a little bit more on the cartoon side, but that's what's fun. So this is the stuff I cut off earlier. I could end up using that later for some hair or something like that, but right now, I'll just put it up here. We'll save it. I got all that extra, the other half of clay from this, right? Let's do noses 101. So right now I got some eye sockets in, right? I just cut off, and I'm going to go for a big medium nose, right? So I don't know what that is. So I'm going to try and go with a teardrop shape. I don't know if you can see that. It's a little more of a tear, wider on the bottom, right? I'm going to kind of smush it down a little bit. Whoop. Smush it down. Fingers are wet right now. I'm going to create the bridge. This is not the only way to do anything. This is just one of the ways that I make masks. And I kind of want some bigger features that are able to be seen from across the room. I also kind of want stuff that's a little more expressive. So big features, expressive, big eyes, big noses, big lips, stuff, open mouths. We're going to do all this stuff. So I don't know if you see what I'm doing, but I took that and kind of made it into a triangle, stuck my thumbs right up in those nostrils there. There's the side profile. This is not the only way to make a mask or to make a nose, but I think it's gonna be a decent one. It's pretty big for this profile, but I kind of like that. And again, in the roughed out stage, don't ever judge yourself when you're in this moment. We are gonna be able to manipulate this, change it, modify it, do some plastic surgery, carve them up a little bit. Remember this, scoring and slipping. I'm moving fast, so I don't have to talk about it too much. Got some slip on there from my slip container on the side. I'm gonna put this guy in there, and I could curve him, right? For a smart aleck face, but I'm going to keep him pretty straight and do all that kind of more playful details later. So now, wet fingers, clay on clay. I'm blending that in. We always say water on your fingers is like sandpaper and wood. You can get rid of all the little weird stuff, right? All the little cracks and nooks and crannies. If anything is weird right in here, I don't know if you can see now, it's a big one. So that being said, if you're like, oh, mess, I don't like that, you could do a little plastic surgery. Maybe use too much right there. Got a little crazy there. Cut that off. And as rough as that looks, magic fingers. This is the part of clay. Well, there's a couple parts that I love, but my favorite part is probably this place, the roughing it out, because you can mess up. There's no, we say mess up, but you can make mistakes and fix them. So there really is no messing up. There's just oh man, it got different or that changed. That's not what I meant to do, but you keep adding, blending. So we got a nice flared out nostril nose there. I'm rounding in there. He's awesome, right? Super expressive. Some funkiness, and I want expressive. But like I said, if you wanted a smaller nose than this, then you could have made him smaller from the beginning. I even gave him a septum there. It's hard to tell, but if you look down, right there, I've been kind of pinching in there and blending that little septum down, which would help me out in my next part, which will be, hopefully, some lips. Okay. My lips. boom, I got a coil here. I don't know if you saw that. But I just grabbed out some clay, kind of made like a little sausage there. And I rolling, roll, rawhide. Okay, so we got this, right? I don't know, that's like finger thick, pointer finger thick. And I'm gonna take that, and these might be a little too large, but I'm gonna blend it. I'm gonna fold it, maybe right there. All right, so we end up with these guys, which you can modify or change. You can decide to put the thinner one on the bottom or the top. And here we go. We're starting to get somewhere. Okay, now I know that this, well, the lighting's crazy here. I know that this is looking funky right now, but you have to have the faith that this is going to be sweet. So I just grabbed this. Okay, I'm going to take my fingers, just kind of mush it in. I should have scored and slipped, but I didn't. And I'm going to take half of this clay, half of that coil, and kind of blend it down in, smear it in, peanut butter and jelly style. Right? We'll control. If you can see what's happening there, but I'm blending it in. Remember, roughing it out time. Blending it out with that first. So that just smeared it in real nice. Now I'm going to get my wet fingers, the old sandpaper, right? And blend that all in. Maybe that septum, I might kind of, I think it's called a septum, right in there. It kind of blends with the nose. And if it's like, oh, well, it looks weird, there's no chin. Well, I could add a chin, and I'm going to do that in a minute. Okay, we got some lips happening. Okay, this is one of my other favorite parts, right? So we got a decent-esque mouth going on there, right? Human-esque. I take my finger. Actually, I'll take a knife. I'll put it down so you can see it. I take a knife. What's the best angle here for you? Right there. I take a knife, jam it right in there. I'm hitting the plastic behind there. Open it up. Get my wet finger. I'm always dipping my fingers in this water in this stage. Wet finger, stick it right in there. And I don't know if you can see, but you can see all the way the plastic now. It's behind there. Scrape it out. Now this is like all rough, right? But I can now take that and blend all that stuff in, push it down, change the look of the mouth, right? And the shadows are a little crazy in here, but we got a nice mouth happening. He's looking a little rough. Well, boom. It's kind of got it going on the side here, right? And like I said earlier, if you feel like, oh, I went too low, I lost the chin. So I just ripped off a little bit of clay. And I'm going to actually score, rough it up down there with some slip. And I'm going to stick this on right below that chin. I'm going to work fast. Wet fingers. I don't want to damage those lips. Sorry about my hat. But now I got a little bit of a chin back here. When I look at the back side, I just attached all that extra. I'm going to make sure that is also connected and blended nicely on the back and isn't sharp. We're going to talk about the back side later. Okay, so then I can take this. Whoop, maybe take a little bit of a tool, trim it a little bit off. All of a sudden, Mr. Funny Lips has got some cool looking stuff going on. Okay, human-esque. You can put those together. You can put them down. You can push them up. You can change all kinds of situations as far as what it looks like. Okay, so he's looking a little skinny in the face too. So I just grabbed another hunk of clay. Okay, you ready for this? Take that hunk, smush it down. I got a little medallion patty. Okay, I'm gonna cut that. Oh, I don't want to cut that actually. I am gonna rip it in half. So I ended up with two of these. I apologize. I got two. About I don't know. They're bigger than Milk Duds. Gobstopper. So boom, I end up with two, and they're about two of these guys. right? Imagine